Good morning, everyone. It's November the 1st, 2020. I am still harvesting from some of the things from my summer garden. My fall garden's coming in quite well. The high tunnel items are doing well. I'm going to take you around and show you, and then we're going to talk about what you need to do now to prepare for your spring planting. Yes, we're going to talk about that now on November the 1st because time is dwindling down. And there's some things you need to get prepared for now to get ready to plant in spring 2021. Stay tuned. Can you hear the chickens? Look at that beautiful moon up over our high tunnel greenhouse. Gorgeous. It was a gorgeous moon last night. These are all my fall vegetables that I planted by seed. Did a seed starting video a couple of months ago, and so these were all planted by seed, and I raised them, and then I came out here and transplanted them. Everything is looking wonderful. I have some Swiss chard in there. I have some red cabbage. I have some Brunswick cabbage. I have the Landis winter lettuce. I have some romaines in here. And then I have still some bell peppers. I'm still harvesting from my bell peppers. Now, we did get close to a freeze some this week, but we skirted it, and the items in the high tunnel have been doing just fine. And here is my beautiful kale. Here are my onions. These are yellow sweet onions. They're coming up really well. What I'll do when I go to thin these out is I will take them out, and they'll be the little bitty bulbs, and I'll put them in the high tunnel somewhere and keep them going. So I'll have some out here, and then I'll have some in the high tunnel. And my carrots are looking fantastic. These will be ready, guys, in about another 2 weeks. I'll pull these up, and I'll can the majority of them. Of course, we'll eat some then, but I'll can the bulk of them. And there's my winter Landis lettuce, and here's some more cabbage. Come with me into the high tunnel. Oh, yeah. Looky here. So beautiful. So I'm going to do some more planting in here, guys. I'm going to put seeds in between these plants of lettuces. And look at my tomato plants. These are the ones I'm trying to grow in here over the winter. Never been able to do that, of course, because we do get very cold. But in the high tunnel, I'm hoping. There's quite a bit new growth on them. I started these from seeds as well probably about 8 to 10 weeks ago. And I'll be starting more seeds again in December to plant for the spring. And we've moved some of our bell peppers in here, just in case we get a frost out there, but we are going to try to convert those raised beds into mini high tunnels to keep our items safe out there, our plants safe. We want to see what we can do with those. So here are the seeds I planted last week. Look. My spinach is coming up. And I plan on planting more of this in here, guys. This will probably be sometime this week. There are my turnips. I'm not seeing any beets come up yet, but I'm certainly hoping they will. I remember last time they were a little late on popping up too. They take a little bit longer to germinate. But looky there. I've got some seeds coming up. This thermometer here says it's about 49 degrees in here, but look. We have a wireless thermometer so we can check and see what's going on in here at night and stuff. My husband's going to bring that down because we do realize that the heat rises and it needs to be a little bit more down so we can see what's happening at the ground level. So you can see we have a lot going on here at North Texas Vegetable Gardening and Cooking. So this video is for the beginning gardener. I want to give you some tips on what you need to do now in November in preparation for your planting coming up in the spring. So give you some tips of what you can plant in January, what you can plant in February, what you're going to want to plant in March and April. So these are tips to help you get going because I firmly believe, guys, that you need to go ahead and start growing your own food. You can grow in little spaces, you can grow in large spaces. It just depends on your yard or your property. If you have a small backyard, you can build some raised beds, or you can grow in pots. There's lots of things you can grow in pots. You can grow carrots in pots. You can grow peppers in pots, tomatoes in pots, all kinds of things, guys. There's really no limit to what you can grow in pots if the pot's big enough. So in preparation for your spring planting, right now, what you need to do in November is find the spot that you're going to put your garden. Whether it's a raised bed or whether you're going to till it up or whether you're going to do the no-till method, now's the time to start preparing. So one of the things that you can do now, find your spot. Your spot's going to need about 8 to 10 hours of sun a day. And what you can do in preparation for your soil is take some cardboard boxes and go out into the spot that you plan on planting your garden and lay them down on the ground. And that will start to kill the weeds for you so that when you're ready to plant, it's going to be much easier for you to work that soil and get your seeds in the ground. So that's number one. Number two, this is a big deal, and it's been a big deal all year this year. Get your seeds on order. You want to determine what you're going to grow in your garden and then go ahead and get your seeds on order. Some of my seed places are rareseeds.com, which is Baker Heirloom, and everwild.com. Both of these seed companies we've used over the last several years. Well, Baker Heirloom I've used for, 10 or 12 years. But anyway, you want to determine what you're going to plant and you want to get your seeds on order. So that's number two, and you need to do that now. All of this year there was a seed shortage issue. I had a friend at work that ordered her seeds back in February, and she still hadn't had them, I think around June. And so she didn't get them on order quick enough, so you need to go ahead and get your seeds on order. I do anticipate that there's going to be a shortage, and there is one now. In fact, if you go and look at some of the lettuces, the things that are people growing in their winter and their fall garden, you can't find those seeds. So get your seeds on order now for your spring garden. So that's number two. Number three, you want to go ahead and start buying anytime you see canning jars. Canning jars are in short supply right now. So get your canning jars, because if you have a pretty decent sized garden, if you're growing green beans and corn and let's see, what else do we can? Beets. We can our beets and carrots. You want to have your jars now, your canning jars now. There is a shortage on these. We have been very fortunate here. If you've seen my grocery store videos, you can see where there's been shortages, but right now there was plenty in the store yesterday. So depending on where you are, you may have some difficulty doing that, but if you do see them, grab them now. You also want, that's number three, you also want to get a pressure canner. I noticed that those have gone up so high in pricing. I was looking at one about a month and a half ago, and I think we paid like $75 for mine, and we use a Presto pressure canner, and it's a very large one, and it'll do a large batch. And when I looked at it online, it was over $200. Start looking for those and go ahead and get that on order now. So that's number four. Number five, get you a pressure canning book. Ball offers one, Kerr offers one, so that you can learn all the ins and outs about canning. We also have a lot of canning videos on our channel to show you how to can different things. And so you want to go ahead and get you a good canning book. It will have the recipes, it will have all the tips, all the no's, all the yeses, because there are some do's and don'ts in canning. I know a lot of you have talked about being a little intimidated by canning, but it's not necessary. Don't be intimidated. I was too. In fact, the first time I canned, I locked all my dogs up in the back of the house, and I stood at a very far distance while it did its thing. So it was kind of scary, but now it's just second nature to me. And again, we'll be glad to help you. And if you go look at some of our videos to show you how to do some pressure canning of your food. The next on my list is get you a good vacuum sealer and freezer bags. Some of the things that I do not can, I know there are other channels out there that do. I am uncomfortable canning squash and zucchini. I won't do that because the USDA has not come out with a good, safe method of canning squash and zucchini. Now, if you pickle them and if you use some kind of vinegar mixture, you're probably pretty fine on that. But so we choose to freeze our squash and zucchini, and we use a vacuum pack sealer. There are videos out there to show you how we do that. We also do that with our bell peppers. That's how we preserve our bell peppers throughout the year, is we do a flash freeze, and then we vacuum pack them, and they go in the freezer for the rest of the year. And they turn out just fine. Squash and zucchini is just like you picked it, guys. Of course, you can't fry it or anything because it does lose its firmness, but it is very, very good in your casseroles or by itself or just seasoned. Let's see, what else? We pickle. Get quite a bit of pickling salt. Go ahead and get your pickling salt, all your canning goods, your pickling salt, kosher salt, because you can use the kosher salt for fermentation. Another thing you might want to get is the ball fermentation kit. I bought one of these about 2 months ago, and I fermented some of my radishes. I'll do a video on that shortly. Turned out absolutely delicious, and this is really a very easy way if you have cabbage in your garden, and if you have other things you want to ferment. Fermented vegetables are very, very healthy for you. They're full of probiotics, and they're just good for the gut. So you might want to pick up a couple of these. I got mine at Kroger, and then I was so happy with it, I went ahead and got 2 more from Amazon. And so we will be fermenting our vegetables. So if you guys also intend to grow in a raised bed, go ahead and start pricing your lumber now. Go ahead and get it on order. Lumber is skyrocketing through this whole ordeal. We just finished our high tunnel not too long ago, and we paid some pretty high prices for the lumber. So get your lumber on order now. You can even start building it, because let me tell you what you can start growing in January. What you can start growing in January, at least here in Texas, are beets and turnips and carrots and lettuces. You can put all those in the ground in January and February, and they'll be ready by the time the hot season rolls around, which is around June for us. So go ahead and get your lumber on hand and start pricing some soil, how you're going to fill your raised bed, and get that going. That's something you can do right now. We're in November. 2 months from now, you can be planting your beets and your turnips and your carrots. And there's videos out on my channel on how to do that. And you saw my carrots at the beginning of this doing fantastic. So things that you will be able to go grow in January are, again, your carrots, your beets, your turnips, all your cool weather plants. You can plant spinach, lettuces, romaines. We're growing the winter landis lettuce right now. Get your cabbage or broccoli, all your cool weather plants. You'll start to be able to plant in January. Get you a good source of compost and mulch. That's what you want to do as well. Mulch is really good if you're doing a raised bed. Once your plants start coming up, to mulch around them to hold the moisture in. See if you can find yourself a good mushroom compost place where you can get your mushroom compost. That for Texas is really good because it does hold the moisture, and we desperately need it because the rain stops here usually in June, and we stay pretty dry. In fact, last year the rain did stop in June, and we stayed dry up until just the last month or two. It was very dry, and you want something that's going to retain the moisture for your plants. So if you think that you're going to want to grow peppers and tomatoes in your garden, you have to determine how you're going to plant them. Are you going to plant them by seed, or are you going to go buy them from a local nursery or from Home Depot or from Lowe's? So for me, I'm going to do my seed starting, because I'm going to grow my own. I'm using the Baker heirloom seeds, and you want to get you some seed trays on hand. You can see this has about 72 compartments for your different seeds. You can also buy a seed warming tray, a seed warming pad to put up underneath these trays to help your seeds germinate, because you're probably going to want to plant those sometime in January, I would say, probably mid-January, the end of January, because it's going to take them a couple of months to get to the good size that you're going to want to transplant into your garden. So if you plan on doing your seeds and growing them from seeds, again, get your seeds on order. Get you some good potting mix or some seed starter mix, and start your seeds around January, the mid-January into January, so that your plants are hardy enough and healthy enough to go ahead and put into the ground. So here on our channel, we really have encouraged you guys for the last several years to grow your own food, and we're going to continue to encourage you to do this. Guys, you can do this. You can do it. Get on out there, get your seeds on order, get all your canning supplies on order, all your freezing supplies on order. Start planning where you're going to put your garden. Sit down with your family. Make it a family event. Go look up the Victory Garden. There's several Victory Garden videos out there, and it shows how families really pulled together in tough times and designed their garden that was going to feed them throughout the year. Now, have we come to the point to where we can feed ourselves the whole year without having to go to the grocery store for our vegetables? No, but that is my goal, and that's what I'm shooting for, especially with that high tunnel. But you can still supplement, guys, and make sure you always have something on your property that you're growing for you and your family. It's healthy, it's fun, the kids really enjoy it. My grandson loves to go out there and work in the garden with Grandma. But it's way more nutritious, and it's right there. It's right there for you, and you learn all kinds of great things in gardening. In closing, we thank you for watching our videos. We thank each and every one of you for subscribing. We ask that you do subscribe if you're not already one, and that you click the like button for this video if you like it, and if you feel like it's helped you, and that you start following us, because we have lots of great things going on here at North Texas Vegetable Gardening, and we want to help you. We want to help you learn how to grow. Have a great weekend. Be safe. It's election day in a couple of days. Not sure what's really going to go on there, but we're praying for each and every one of you and your safety and your health. We are doing fine here. I've gone back to the office 50% of the time, and I'm kind of glad to see my coworkers and be out, but sometimes it's scary. But we are continuing on, and we are going to continue on, and we appreciate you guys, and we love you guys. Please get on out there and garden. For all you new people that are watching my video, thank you for watching. Be sure and hit that subscribe button, and we will be in touch in a couple of days. Take care, God bless, and have a wonderful weekend.